Mars Production.
This week, La Pelouse brings you a special gathering, a historic one showing how the Haitian community stands to send someone to the Boston 5th District City Council election. In a private room in Peabody, Mass, the Chalviré family welcomes Jean Claude Sanon and supporters.
Non, moi c'est Bukia. Moi j'ai du côté gauche moi candidat Jean Claude Sanon. Moi j'ai Marie moi à gauche moi. Et puis nous avons toute une famille là qui est regroupée ensemble. C'est avec un peu de plaisir que moi j'ai joie dans cœur pour me passer le micro à Marie pour juste dire nous deux trois mots. Et puis nous avons l'opportunité pour me passer le micro à Henri Milorin et puis qui va introduire candidat Jean Claude Sanon qui a couru pour place City Councilor de Boston. On a regroupé tant qu'un groupe Haitian et friends et amis. I do have actually friends of Haiti. My dear friend Naomi Rodriguez was here today in support of Jean Claude Sanon's candidacy to Boston City Councilor. Jean Claude Naomi, I would like to thank you actually. I know you don't live in the community. You're a great friend of mine for many years, and I'd like to thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Bukia. Thank everyone for being here, and I do appreciate it. And I'm here to congratulate you again, Jean Claude Sanon, for your candidacy for the 5th district. And I can't think of a better person, a better candidate to represent us in this district.
Écoutez, nous allons faire passer avec un grand leader, un monde qui devrait avec la communauté haïtienne et en général toute communauté dans Massachusetts là et ailleurs, c'est un activiste, Monsieur Henri Milorin. C'est un plaisir.
Merci Lydia pour l'introduction. C'est une introduction qui est plus more than me, okay? Because what's in my heart is very small. All I have in my heart is love for this guy here. He's a friend since I've known him. I wanted him to go to a certain direction. He chose to do it now, not then. And that's a direction I had my eyes on since 1980. Hey, 1980. 23 years. I wanted to change this. We have a chance. He's running for City Councilor for District 5. District 5, 67% of it are truly Haitian descent, Haitian friends. It's basically Haitian niche. We want to make a change. We want to find the strength within ourselves. That's what we're coming all the way to Peabody to meet friends. Okay, you don't have to live in Boston to support Jean Claude. You can be in Boston to help. I live in Medford. I'm in Boston almost every day working with other people. What we're doing here, we have an opportunity we cannot let go. Haitian needs to create their own. We have a chance right now, okay, to create our own. And Jean Claude is the one we're gonna make in the next City Councilor for District 5, okay? And that election is gonna be done on September 24th, and I thank you guys, okay? And already, I know you're gonna be with us, okay? With this, I'm gonna present to you, okay? Our next City Councilor for District 5, the one and only our friends, our son, our activist, our speaker, our soccer star. There's one thing that ever say you're the first executive director for Telecreole. Yes, not too many people knows that, the first, okay? So this is not a guy who's been fighting for Haitian yesterday. He's been doing it the day before yesterday. So anybody who's trying to challenge him doesn't stand a chance. And I know you guys are going to do it. With what I'm presenting to you, the candidate, our next City Councilor for District 5, Jean Claude Sanon.
I don't know what if I should say it in English or what if I should say it in Haitian Creole.
Both.
I would make sure
you can say it in Spanish
because
too,
of the
right?
skill that he
Do it in English.
do it in English. Very good. All right. Folks, coming in here brings fizzles into my heart. Because when folks welcome you, it gives you a sense of victory. When folks takes the time to be with you, it gives you a sense of you can do a lot more than you can anticipate. So your presence in here tonight is not in vain. Let me take the time to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads in the house. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yes!
the opportunity to thank quite a few people before I even attempt to get to these two, because I'm going to tell you the whole nutshell stories about them too, in regards to this accomplishment today. But I want to make sure that I thank Henry Miller, the man who had called me and told me, this is the opportunity that you don't miss. You have to do it and do it now. I wasn't ready at all to run for anything in 2013. I had a game plan set for 2015. But it was Henry's vision that really led me to take this step. And this step is right. The man that used to be into that office will no longer be in there. So it's a free seat, so anybody could take the chance, so I'm taking the dive. But I'm taking it with people like you, because there has been so many folks in this vicinity who believes in me. And this is why I'm running. So I want to say thank you to Henri. I also want to say thank you to the man who's been by my side for quite some time. And when I think that I was a political savvy, he has really teaching me a lot. Let's give it up for Bonnie Saint-Elo, please. I have a core of partners in crime, but not the one that you can be arrested for, who are here this evening, and I want to make sure I acknowledge them. Ozan colleagues from the radio, at work and everything else, a man who surely believes into this candidacy, who will give his whole heart for it. Let's give it up for Ozan. Another partner of crime that is here also, which I don't see his head, with him sitting down.
He's texting.
And we want to make sure that he's standing up. These are the folks that believes in me more than I believe in myself. So I got to make sure I acknowledge them. Julio Midi, who is here. And I also want to say thank you to Jean Selva. This guy, when I first started in the radio industry, you know a fan who's been with you no matter where you go? This is Jean-Robert.
Nice.
Jean Claude, you can do it. You can do much better than that. I want to make sure I do say that. I do have a family member here, by the way, who is surprising me. I didn't know that she was here, okay? I had to do all her paperwork, and I didn't even know that she was a family member to bring her into this country. And she is here with us tonight. Patricia Sanon, thank you very much. Now, what about all of you who are here? You have taken the time. You happen to be here this evening. It's for a great cause. But you're going to make history in the city of Boston. This is the first time this body of city council will have a Haitian American in its midst. So that means we're going to be making history. So you who are here this evening, pour ceux qui parlent la langue française et ceux qui parlent aussi la langue créole, je veux justement vous remercier de votre présence pour ce soir. I really want to say thank you to all of you. Now let's give yourself a round of applause. Certainly you are here not invited. When I sat together with Bukia, she was, who was the scary cat between the two of you? I don't know. She was the one actually. I was questioned. There was a whole survey. But Jean Claude, can we really do this? I don't think that we can do it. But tonight, ain't you proud with the two of them for putting this together? Let's give them a round of applause. I'm not going to keep you for long. As a young man who grew up here in this country, and I've arrived here quite a while ago, it was 1975. For those of you who are from Haiti, you understand what 1975 meant. For Julio's sake, I will tell you there was the most popular band who came out, which was Skasha, with the most famous tune talking about my country at the time. And I had to leave that homeland and come in here. When I came here, I came for the sake. My father only had one child, did not want his son to come to the United States yet. He had other dreams and other bigger aspirations for me. But somewhat he was dying. So I was forced at the mercy of the parents that was back home, and I was shipped over here. When I came, thank God that I came, because he lived with me for quite a few years. So I've learned so much from this man who wanted me to be who I am today. And my father would have been very proud. So is my mother. So for their sake, I've learned the habits of working with people, loving people, contributing to society, helped build up what we have today. My 35 years into this community has been so worthwhile. Because when you can care for the most vulnerable in your society, you can care for anybody else. And they have been the backbone of my inspiration. They have encouraged me. You can do better. Go for it. Don't hesitate. Whether it's the time that I spent as a soccer player from the high school, by the way, I have won other championship before. So winning this one is not going to be the first one. Okay? In 1978, the first city championship was won by English High. At that time, for those of you who doesn't know English High used to be in competitions in terms of education. So we are going backwards. And those are the things I'm going to be fighting for. Because in 1978, there was real education in the city of Boston. We were in competition with Boston Latin. So I don't need to tell you what English High used to be.
That's right.
We had the greatest building, which is bought today by Harvard. We were right across from Boston Latin. So the competition was there. But actually, as a soccer player, I know the idea of teamwork. So we became the first city championship at English High. Then we went on. Unfortunately, we have lost when it comes to the whole entire state in front of Brockton High. So beside that, I have also been an actor. Now, it's not just the vocal, because acting doesn't just require the vocal. In high school, I represented the Haitian community, and I presented pieces of our history to the whole class. Something that I'm very proud of. So that legacy continued. When I get out of there, the first city championship team became the #1 team also in the league. Right, Julio?
Yeah.
He can attest to that. So there's a witness in here. So it was the same kids from the high school who turned into the whole soccer movement in Mattapan that they call today Almond Park. So we went into that. So I had to drive for this energy in terms of participation. I had this drive when we put all the Haitians united in terms of creating one radio station instead of having several pockets. So we were servicing the community more. I also had the drive when I was working at Haffy to be part of different ethnicities. Because I do believe in one thing. That you could have the competency, but you also need to understand other people's culture. So culture competency is extremely important for anyone who wants to want this diversity. Because it's real. Boston is changing.
It's Boston.
55% minority majority. So for every time I find one of you, or two of you, or three of you, who's still in me, who I am today, that's the inspiration that I'm driving. The folks that I have helped in immigrations. The folks when they happens to go to the hospital who doesn't have a translator or an interpreter. I was dreaming of that day and it's coming. Thanks to the Spanish who has brought it up. Because right now, wherever you go, you want a translator, you should be able to get it. We don't realize how many resources that we have within ourselves. Why can't Stanley be a mentor to the next Stanley that's coming up?
Correct.
And so on and so forth. Because a lot of us went to school. We have to acknowledge so many basic things. But how much are we sharing it with our society? The people in Mattapan, the people in Mattapan don't deal with people in Rosendale. I want to be that bridge. Who's going to sacrifice myself to bring them together? Yes. Because the more this community is united, the safer it will be. Okay? The more educated it will be. The more investment there will be in it. The more support there will be for the small businesses. The more understanding the folks will have about this is mine. If it's mine, I own it. I must work to make it better.
Mars Production. À la pelouse, voici donc l'art et l'artiste. Une étoile à la une.
Samuel Vincent, Ricardo Lefebvre.
Nous avons fait design avec nous.
Nous là pour dire vérité.
C'est toujours un plaisir pour moi. C'est pour tout acteur et cinéaste haïtien.
Pensez à aller plus haut. J'espère vous.
Suivez-nous sur l'écran à n'importe quel moment.
Good evening. What a pleasure to be here tonight.
À la pelouse, voici donc l'art et l'artiste. Une étoile à la une.
Samuel Vincent, Ricardo Lefebvre.
Nous avons fait un design avec nous.
Nous-mêmes, nous là pour dire vérité.
C'est toujours un plaisir pour moi. C'est pour tout acteur et cinéaste haïtien.
Pensez à aller plus haut. J'espère pour nous.
Suivez-nous sur l'écran à n'importe quel moment.
Good evening. What a pleasure to be here tonight.
Haitian students visit the Boston Haitian community. Une prochaine édition encore en spécial. La pelouse vous apporte Haitian students at the Harvard International Conference. The Boston Haitian community welcomed them with folklore dance, songs and speeches. Academic staff, students, all gathered at St. Angela's Church after participating at the Harvard International Conference. Bientôt à la pelouse, University of Haiti Services, son président Alex Simeon en interview exclusive. How he prepared for this event, who volunteered to make it happen, and what other perspectives do they have down the line. La pelouse, une émission de Mars Productions.
Mars Production.
Welcome to our community show, La Pelouse. La Pelouse, a presentation of Mars Production. We cover social issues, art, and more.